at the discovery of America, a journey that changed history. On a cool October night in 1492, Christopher Columbus stood on the deck of his ship, Santa Maria, staring into the dark horizon. It had been over a month since he and his crew had left Spain, sailing westward across the vast, uncharted Atlantic Ocean. The journey had been long and grueling. The men were tired, anxious, and on the verge of mutiny. They had expected to reach Asia weeks ago, but all they had seen was endless water, just when hope seemed lost. A faint light flickered in the distance. Columbus called for his officers, and they watched the light appear and disappear, as if someone on land was carrying a torch. Then, in the early hours of the October 12th, 1492, a sailor named Rodrigo de Triana cried out, "Land! Land!" The ships erupted with cheers. As the sun rose, Columbus and his men rowed to shore. They stepped onto a lush tropical island, part of what we now call the Bahamas. The indigenous Taino people watched curiously as these strange visitors, dressed in shining armor, arrived on their shores. Columbus believed he had reached islands near India or China, which is why he called the native people Indians. Was Columbus really the first? For centuries, we were taught that Columbus discovered America, but he was not the first meat to set foot in the New World. Around the year 1000 AD, Leif Erikson, a Viking explorer from Norway, sailed from Greenland and reached the shores of Newfoundland, Canada. The Vikings called this new land Vinland, and they even built settlements. However, conflicts with the indigenous people, whom they called Skraelings, forced them to abandon the colony. There are also theories that sailors from China, Africa, or even the Middle East may have reached America long before both Columbus and Erikson. Some researchers believe that Chinese fleets explored the Pacific coast, and that African traders from the Inomali Empire might have crossed the Atlantic centuries before Columbus. The impact of Columbus' voyage. Even though Columbus was not the first to reach the Americas, his voyage changed the course of history. His discoveries led to European colonization, the exchange of plants, animals, and technologies between the Old and New Worlds, known as the Columbian Exchange, and sadly, the destruction of many indigenous cultures. In the years following Columbus's journey, Spanish explorers like Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro conquered great civilizations such as the Aztecs and Incas, claiming their lands for Spain. Over time, millions of indigenous people were killed by war, forced labor, and diseases brought by the Europeans. Columbus died in 1506, still believing he had found a route to Asia. But his legacy remains one of the most debated topics in history. Was he a brave explorer who connected two worlds, or a conqueror whose arrival led to suffering and destruction? One thing is certain. October 12th, 1492, marked the beginning of a new era, one that shaped the world as we know it today.